wash away the pain. I don't know where that song came from. I'm supposed to be writing right now. 3 pens for no reason. Blank page, almost blank. This is from the other day. I haven't been. I took the weekend off. That was nice. I had the weekend to myself, and I intended, I'm gonna write. I'm wearing a black sweater again. Shit. I don't wear this black sweater that often, but in all my videos, I'm wearing it. I'm gonna change. It's clean. I'll wear this today. Better. Anyways, looking like Steve Jobs. I was gonna be a writing weekend, and then it turned into just a relaxing weekend. Even though writing is relaxing, but it was just, I couldn't be bothered with it. I'm having a harder time now. What is green on here? My glasses are getting all mildewy. Having a slightly harder time with my story lately. I think it's because I've been reading fantasy and I haven't been reading contemporary fiction, which is pretty much what I'm writing. I got my mind on wizards, and I really shouldn't. It's really something else. It's just distracting me from. I've never been as far as I am in a book as I am right now with writing this one, and I don't want to. Actually, I should be writing instead of doing this video, to be honest, because I kind of feel like I could write something decent today. But my phone, I knew I shouldn't have had my phone up here, and I was on that. And there's always something to do. I got to message somebody. I got to find lodging somewhere. I got to respond back to that. I got to get this profile set up. I got to do all these things that I don't really need to do right now. And writing should be the first thing I do in the morning or the last thing I do at night, because those are the times when I know I don't know why I'm doing this with my hands today, more susceptible to good writing. If I do it in the morning, it's the best. Because I can't just sit down in the middle of the day to do it. It's a weird thing that, like, I know I can, you know what I mean? It's like a weird, I'm either gotta be groggy and have like the moodiness of the morning, or I gotta be feeling like night owly and just burning the midnight oil, writing in the twilight hours. But usually that window, and these windows don't last. I only have like about an hour of that window at night before I'm too sleepy, or I guess just before I'm too sleepy. And I haven't written in a handful of days, and I hate it. I hate it when you get a streak of just writing every day, and it's fantastic. And now I'm like, I want to finish it, even though it's not that close yet. It's close, but not that close. And I keep microwaving. I keep making coffee, and then it gets cold, and I microwave it, and I do something, and let's see here. Lukewarm, son of a bitch. Favorite thing of this week is I haven't been enjoying my mug selection lately, and I found this one, and I said, this is the mug I'm going to use to my friends, and they wrote my name on it. It's kind of smudged now, but I don't know. Somebody messaged me from one of my videos, and they said that they're going to take a page from my book and go to their friend's house and use it as a writing retreat, and I recommend it if you have the friends. Especially, I've done it before with other friends where we're in tight quarters, and it doesn't work as well, but I've taken their kids' room, taken a desk from one of the other rooms, put it here, and it does it right. I even write down in front of, like, we'll write downstairs in the kitchen, and it's pretty nice. But maybe I need to take a trip to town. I haven't been to town in a few days, and I can write there. I gotta get reacquainted with my story. I've changed my background on my phone to some kind of just mock-ups of book art. I'm not going to use it, but like, it's a story, it's a photo that reminds me of my story, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I should be writing. And so I'm trying to do that, but mentally it's been a weird positioning. I just, your mind's full of shit, and I work on social media and stuff, and it's been a weird influx of, I guess I could say hate messages lately, which I'm lucky where I get a very small amount. I feel like my type of content will get more, and I don't. But I've gotten a few recently that have just hit to the bone. Very personal, very, yeah. And you try not to let it get to you, and especially when, and I hope that doesn't come off as like, oh, I'm getting hate comments, so please give me endearing comments or things like that, because that's not how that works, I guess. That should be coming from within, I suppose. That sounds very pseudo philosophical or whatever, but yeah, the way I feel about my writing or about my stuff or myself shouldn't be, I don't know, affected, good or bad, from what people say. But it's hard. It's hard when you see something like that and someone's just like, and I've messaged both these people back when they say something like, I'll be like, and then usually the guy's like, oh, I'm sorry, I was just pretty angry. But then he doubled down a little bit. And angry or not, it still just sucks in. Especially when you do see nice things. People say, and it's not just on social media. It's in real life where someone will say something nice, and it's hard to believe it. It doesn't carry much weight when it's said over a screen, but when it's negative, then it carries all kinds of weight. I don't know. Yeah. So wrestling with that a little bit. I mean, it's not, and it's not like a bad comment will dictate the whole thing. It's the unfortunate thing is that it's confirming things that you already think about yourself, and so when you see that, it's just like the tip of the eye. It's just like not the cherry on top, but the final Jenga piece falling down, where it's just like, what am I doing? Kind of thoughts, which aren't bad. They come and go. It's just everyone goes like that with everything we do. And to be honest, it probably should be helping my writing, if anything. Actually, I think that's what I thought this morning. It's like, oh, I should be writing. I could easily take these comments and put them into characters, but we'll see. So I don't know, I kind of just grabbed my camera and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to do a video. Just an update of book stuff, and the update is that there is no update. I haven't been writing since the last video. I've been reading, which is nice. Escaping to Middle Earth when I get the chance, so that's been really enjoyable. I'm really happy how far I'm getting into that book, but so I don't want to stop reading it, because if I put it down, I'll never finish it. But I don't know. November. It's good. It's yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this book goes. I hate that I'm falling out of love with it, and it doesn't have anything to do with the characters or the story. It's just myself. I'm just like, it's around that same time where it's like, it's been about almost half a year of it's like a new, it's like, yeah, it's like a summer fling sometimes, where you get this idea and it's really super passionate at first, and you're like, this might be the one, and then time goes on, and I still think that this is something that there's certain story ideas that I get, and I'm like, I could write that, and this feels like one where I should write that. It's very specific to me, but I'm like, this feels like such my wheelhouse, this mood and this type, and yeah, so I have to get back into that. And that's the thing, is it's my goal with it isn't too out there, so I should just be, black ocean, won't you come? But yeah, my phone, people ask me for writing advice often, and I always say, just turn the phone off, is a big one. Turn it off, put it on top of the fridge. Put it somewhere that's annoying to get to. Buy an alarm clock. I don't have one, it's making it a little tricky. Buy an alarm clock that's not on your phone. So when you wake up, the first thing you're not doing is looking at your phone. Because then you can be like, oh, I should not be scrolling. But you're naturally just gonna, sometimes that's part of my waking up process, is to scroll on my phone at 6 a.m, so I slowly ease into the day. Horrible. I think I just read recently too that it does something psychological to you where it makes you less productive. Well, and I had things I wrote down for specific YouTube videos that I wanted to talk about, but I can't just, those will be later this week. I've got some nice ideas that I'm excited for. But yeah, not today. I'll do some videos out on the moors. It's really pretty here. I'd like to show some of that, but I know it's going all right. When I finish this video, I'm gonna. I know I'm not going to. Will I write when I finish this video? I don't know. Maybe I'll force myself just to sit here. That's the thing. If you can just force yourself to do a page, a paragraph. Force yourself to do a paragraph and then dare yourself not to do a page after that. You know what I mean? Like, if I do a paragraph, I'm going to want to do a page. I'm going to want to follow that thread. Is my thing on? My camera settings have been weird lately. Anyways, if anything fails, I got my pig mug here with my warm coffee. I don't like iced coffee. I need more. I've been really into drinking tea. There's an update. Yeah. I've decided, so with this book originally, I think I was gonna, if I didn't finish it this December, I would write it and publish it next December. Second it's done, I'm publishing it. Letting it out there. And I know that's just my style. Like, I'm not the guy who can sit on, when I look at, speaking of Lord of the Rings, when I'm like, damn, he wrote these same characters. It's a hell of a story when you think about it. But for like a decade at least, maybe 2. I haven't looked it up, but it is a good story. In the sense of like in-depthness or like the patience that's involved with it. When I think about it, because I'm like, knowing what I know about the stories and reading certain things where it will allude to the story's happening. I'm in the very early stages, and it alludes to first of all, I'm like, oh, good thing I know what happens in The Hobbit, and I've read The Hobbit, because what's happening in this book, I'm like, damn, how did he go about plotting this whole thing? This whole backstory with it is insane. But even when he, like I said, what's happening right now in the beginning, where I think it's happened twice, but for sure once, where it's like, oh yeah, they saw some figure following them in the background, and that detail is buried deep into chapters of things about forest, and it's very hidden in there. But if I didn't know who that figure was, I want, you know what I mean? It's just like, damn, the small things that I know aren't even gonna pop up until the next book. That's really impressive. I think at that time of writing, this is a complete off topic, but you know what I mean? Like, if someone does that nowadays, it makes sense, because they have trilogies in their mind, and they're like, oh, I think especially after Harry Potter was really good at that, of like, here's some stuff that's not going to pop up until book 6, which I'm like, that's impressive as hell. I'm always curious how much of that is before, you know what I mean? Maybe that's what stops a lot of writers who write like that nowadays, a lot of aspiring writers, where they're like, they have a series in their mind. I don't know, it's very interesting to see. I'd like to dissect that more, because I know if I write something, I'm not a person who's going to write a series, but when I have stories that I'm writing, usually those ideas don't pop up till the end, and I'm like, oh sweet, that plugs in perfectly, and I can go back and fix it. But with one book, that makes sense. With doing that with a series, it's insane. Yeah, and so I keep picturing Tolkien writing The Lord of the Rings. Like, each page, I'm like, did he know what was this like to him? Because to me, it's a bunch of escapism when I'm writing right now, and it's very cathartic. But for him, I just assume it was like meticulous, and it was just like, I feel like I'm like, oh, I'm in the mood to write. I gotta go write something to him. It just feels like more like an archaeologist or something, or more like a what's the word? Not a philosopher, but someone who's scholar, more of a scholarly type thing. Anyways, this video probably doesn't need to be much longer than this, which isn't a thing I should probably say on my videos, but yeah, I don't know. A few people commented about stuff they're writing, and so I'd like to hear more about that. Yeah. This is the one time, though, I don't want to let these excuses pile up too much, because then if it gets too much, eventually too much time's gonna go, and I'll be like, I might as well start something new, and I don't want to let that happen, because I've been doing that since I was 20, years old. of being like letting it go. And writing specifically, the reason I kind of got into writing was because I was doing other, you know, maybe little film projects or other things, or music projects or anything artistically that it involved other people and involved certain times of day. It involved certain equipment. It involved this thing. It only involves me, a pen and some paper. And you don't even technically even need the pen and paper to write. You do, but you know what I mean. I can write a paragraph in my head in the car if I can remember it. I could I have a tape recorder somewhere. It's the least amount of friction from me to finished product. It's like the same reason why I'm not much of a runner, but this is the only athletic thing that I do, is because all it takes is for me to just push, just to go, and then just keep going. That's all it takes. And the same is with writing, which is like, oh yeah, it doesn't, I mean, for the most part, you know, you can look at like, there's such a thing as bad writing, but you can cross that road when it gets to it. You know, the only way to fix bad writing is to first do bad writing. Yeah, I don't know. Excited to, maybe I'm too excited now to get it done. I'm like, no, I gotta be enjoying it. And I am enjoying it, and a break here and there is nice, but it really is a momentum thing. You gotta keep that momentum going, and you gotta ride that wave. Because it's hard to get that going again. Especially as we're getting closer to Christmas, I'm gonna be distracted with holly jolliness. Did anybody else, you know when they say 'tis the season, I used to think that 'tis was like a verb. To 'tis the season, like a toast to the season. I didn't realize it meant it is the season. And so I always want to say, I always want to 'tis the season. I'm like, oh wait. I thought it was like, 'tis the season to be jolly. Like, let's hope that it's a jolly, I kind of just want to read my book right now. I'm gonna stop this video. I'm gonna try and do a paragraph. One paragraph. And the thing is, I feel like you can hear my mouth noises, sorry. The thing is like, there's a freedom where like, I can write anything I want right now. I don't have to write so-and-so goes from point A to point B, which is nice. It's freeing, but it's almost too freeing. You kind of have to have restrictions at some point. And I'm getting to that point where I'm like, okay, the story's starting to come together. You need to quit dilly-dallying and smelling the roses. But there's so much to write still. And I see it, and I know it. So I'm like, what's stopping me? In my life. I wonder if I need to put on music today. I normally write in silence, but sometimes I'll have some music on. The thing is, the second I turn my phone on, I'm fucked. It's game over, but I kind of want to write to some music. Change things up a bit. Yeah. Where's my laptop? I can do that with my laptop because my laptop doesn't have anything I can scroll on. But then the thing, you put on music, then the song ends, and then I'm like, oh shit, I need to put on a new song. The song's not doing it, the song's not the vibe. More distractions, more crap. Sometimes I put on rain sounds because it's like, it's noise, but it's not. Where was I the other day where it was too quiet? Oh, the bathtub. I took a bath the other day. Always a horrible experience. Always thinks that it's a good idea, but then it's always too hot, and then it's too cold, and then it's too small. Actually, there was a decent sized tub. And I was like, maybe I'll read, or maybe I'll write. And it was a bubble bath. I even had a candle in there. I was like, this is stupid. And then I was just like, what am I doing in here? It's just too quiet. My least favorite sound, I love the sound of water, but my least favorite is like the trickle of like somebody being in the tub. Horrible sound. It sounds like a leak. And so it's just like, I almost had to put on rain sounds or something, just because it was too quiet all of a sudden. The second all you hear is just... But I love going to like hot tubs for some reason, because you can hear the hot tub roaring. And that white noise really helps me think, and really helps me write. And there's this guy, Trumbo, from, was it the 60s? He was a screenwriter, and he used to write all of his scripts. in the tub, like on the thing, and I thought that was such a cool way of doing it. And I'm like, he would like just smoke cigars and like be in the bathtub for like hours of the day and churn out pages, and I thought that was so cool. But not for me. Maybe I'll do one of those videos about doing someone else's writing routine. I've actually kind of wanted to do that, but my own style. I thought about getting obscure with it, but anyways, thanks for hanging out. See you soon.